remember what happened to Ashley Clinton, who had a contract to build the straw market. And they took the contract from him just because it was him. Not because he couldn't do it. Not because he wasn't talented. Not because we didn't need it. And they didn't even stop to think how it would affect the straw vendors. Those heroines of the Bahamian Revolution who have scrapped and scraped and saved to educate the young professionals in our country today. I wonder if they remember that. I wonder if he remembered that when he feigned his crying. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most serious time in our country in a very long time. And the problem is that we have no leadership. We have a tired, unimaginative, spiteful, wicked, I didn't say wicked, wicked leadership. Now it would be easy for me to say, don't blame me. Because you all know how I voted. But I cannot say that, you see. Because whether they voted PLP or FNM or BDM, they do not deserve this kind of government. At the end of September, concerned about how the state of the economy was looking and its impact on the ordinary consumer in our country, we, the opposition, decided to take a resolution to Parliament because we wanted to have a discussion of the economy with the government. We wanted to share with them our ideas of what we thought they should be doing to protect the Bahamian people from what we saw coming. But all they could think about was how they could shuck and jive. They didn't want bipartisanship. They didn't want our contribution. Last week when Mr. Wilscombe, our Wilscombe, told Mr. Ingram in the House of Assembly that his minister was going on TV to talk about how he was going to solve the tourism problem, Mr. Ingram said, he put that look on his face and he got up from his seat and he walked outside, and by the time he came back inside, the minister was no longer going on television to explain anything to anybody. Because the minister for everything couldn't take the fact that the new minister of tourism would have the initiative and the willingness to go and present a plan to the Bahamian people. Now, some people would say that's good leadership. Mr. Ingram is very decisive. He sure is. But he doesn't know everything.
No.
We decided to use Opposition Day to stimulate the creation of a strategy to minimize the adverse effects that Bahamians were already experiencing in this country from Grand Bahama to Inagua. You all know, because you've been told, that Grand Bahama has been in a slump for some years now with the closure of the Royal Oasis Hotel and now with the dispute of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. You know that the economy in Inagua all the way to the south has been stalled because of a strike and now with the hurricane. You know that the development of Megwana, left in place by the PLP government, has been stifled by the FNM's delays to the I project. You also know that the economy of Exuma has been crippled. Crippled, ladies and gentlemen, because Ingram couldn't make a decision about selling the Emerald Bay's Hotel in Exuma. And he would rather the people of Exuma starve and suffer. That's a word I'm going to use a lot tonight, suffer. Just because he must show who is the boss. Elusra has been stalled by the resumption of the FNM neglect it experienced under the last FNM government and is now experienced again. Elusra is dead, dead, dead. Exuma? Dead. Dead. Meguana? And who killed their economies? They were determined to fire employees, women who came out to the House of Assembly to plead with them, please, sir, just let me have my job so I could feed my children. But the heartless government, they wanted to give the jobs to some other people. As a result, they brought the economy to a screeching halt and sent many persons home without a job and without any prospect of getting one. The construction workers who thought they would be working on Cable Beach at this time, the construction workers who thought they would be working on a brand new school in Grand Bahama, the construction workers who thought they would go to Acton to wake up the school in Salina Point, no job. Hotel workers who look forward to the new jobs at Cable Beach, or in Southwest New Providence, or in Exuma, or in Grand Bahama, were left high and dry. This government took a delight, it seems, in inflicting punishment on the Bahamian people. And it didn't matter to them whether they were working class, middle class, or any other class. But they created opportunities for their cronies. Obi told you about the contract in Grand Bahama. They gave $26 million worth of renovation contracts in the public school system in New Providence, and not one bid, not one tender. They just gave them to their buddies. They took contracts from qualified Bahamians and gave them to their cronies. They caused heartache among the straw vendors because it wasn't enough just to tease them with the tent. But they had to go and say that they're not going to rebuild the straw market and they were going to turn it into a green space. Now, take mode to the Holy Ghost. I don't have any problem with green spaces. But if I have to choose between a green space and a place for the straw vendors to manufacture and display their craft, what would you choose? Earlier this year, after giving tax relief and business relief to the Bay Street merchants, I pleaded with them in the House of Assembly, please, do the same thing for the business persons over the hill. But the worst thing that they did this year was when they increased the taxes on books, on clothes, on shoes. And like my brother said, even on the Bible. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that had a telling effect. That had a telling effect on parents. That had a telling effect on schools. That had a telling effect on children. That had a telling effect throughout the country. They went further. You see Mr. Ingram last week talking about how he is giving the people relief at BEC. Randy Roberts left in place a plan whereby people who had defaulted on their bills could go to BEC and make an arrangement to pay their bills over time. The FNM government canceled that policy. That's how the problem arose. And they had no compunction about turning off people's light. Don't matter whether they had little children. Don't matter whether they had disabled people. Don't matter if they had a lung machine in the house. They did not care. And now he says you can go back and make an arrangement by October the 10th. Today is October the 9th, ladies and gentlemen. To pay 50% of the bill and make an arrangement to pay the rest over time. But you got to keep up your monthly payments. Now, you ain't got no job. Or you're working 1 day or 2 days a week. You got a big bill. If you could pay half of it, you would pay it. And now he's going to... What do you think is going to happen on October the 11th? Stay tuned.